Hello, welcome to the seventh day, the final day of Kwanzaa. Habaragani family, welcome. Our answer today is the foundation upon which all else rests. Imani, faith. For 6 days, we have added light, principle by principle, building a covenant with our ancestors and our future. We have built the house of our values with unity, self-determination, collective work, cooperative economics, purpose, and creativity. Tonight, we light the final candle, and we do not light it in a vacant space. We light it in a house that is already full, already strong, already warm. Imani is the roof, the shelter, the belief that this house will stand through any storm and protect all who dwell within it. Now let us complete our sacred circle tonight with the third and final green candle. Imani is often translated simply as faith, but in the context of Kwanzaa, it is active, not a passive hope, but a disciplined belief that is earned through the practice of the previous 6 days. How can we have faith in our people? Because we have practiced umoja. How can we have faith in our teachers and leaders? Because we have practiced kujikajalia and ujima to hold them and ourselves accountable. And how can we have faith in the victory of our struggle? Because we have practiced ujama, nia, and kuumba to build the alternative we seek. Imani is the courage to continue. It is the fuel for the long road. It is what our ancestors held onto when all evidence was against them. Today, Imani is the mental and spiritual fortitude to set goals for the new year, to plant seeds whose harvest we may not see, trusting that our work matters in the great arc of history. I'm your host, Janelle Pulley, and good evening, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, we honor Imani, which means faith in Swahili. We come together to reflect on our beliefs, both in ourselves and in our community. Kwanzaa is much more than a holiday. It is a reaffirmation of our cultural heritage and the values that bring us together. Kwanzaa was established in 1966 by Dr. Malana Karenga as a way to celebrate African American culture and foster a sense of unity and identity. This beautiful holiday spans 7 days, each day dedicated to one of the Nguzo Saba, or 7 principles that guide our community spirit. As we celebrate Imani today, we are reminded of the importance of faith in our lives, whether it's faith in our community, ourselves, faith in our family. Imani teaches us that belief is a powerful motivator in the journey toward achieving our collective goals. Kwanzaa is a wonderful opportunity to engage our children in meaningful cultural practices. It's crucial to involve them in the celebration, as this not only teaches them about their heritage, but also instills a sense of pride and belonging. Come, kings and queens, come forward. And now to our brilliant ones, the very reason for our faith. Look at all these candles. Each one represents a promise we made this week. The last one, Imani, is like the superpower of believing. It's believing in yourself, believing in your family, and believing that when we work together, we can do amazing things. We know this power already. It's the feeling you get right at the top of the slide before you go down. You believe you'll land safely and have fun. That's Imani. Our faith in you is bigger than that slide. We believe in your kindness, your smart ideas, and your power to help. And tonight, during our feast, children have a special job to be the Imani keepers, be the faith keepers. Your smile, your laughter, your stories are the living proof of why we have faith. You are the promise we light candles for. You are our greatest Zawadi, our greatest gift. Kwanzaa is a wonderful opportunity to engage our children, and it is crucial to know that there are some fun ways children can participate. Through storytelling, children can share stories or experiences that connect with the principles of Kwanzaa, reinforcing the values we've celebrated throughout the week. Children each day can come home and share with you in a story what they learned for the day. There are always crafts and art projects. Encourage the kids to create artwork that symbolizes Imani. This could be through drawings, paintings, or even written affirmations they can share. Reciting the principles of Kwanzaa is another way to have children memorize and recite the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And this reinforces their understanding of them. As we reflect on Imani, we must ask ourselves, what does faith mean to you? What is your faith? What do you believe in? What is it that light you up and make all things possible for you? Because without faith, nothing is possible. Imani is not abstract. It's the conviction that the values we hold, the lessons we live, will yield strength, purpose, and resilience as we carry them into the coming year. Imani is a rooted confidence that the work we do individually and collectively matters and will flourish. In the African cultural context from which Kwanzaa draws meaning, faith is both spiritual and relational. It is about trust in the divine purpose and trust in human agency, working together in harmony to uplift the community. Faith is not confined to belief alone. It is lived, practiced, and expressed through relationships, responsibility, and righteous action, forming a bridge between divine purpose and human responsibility. Spiritually, faith reflects trust in a higher order, whether understood as God, the Creator, or the sacred moral that governs life. Across many African traditions, spiritually is inseparable from daily living. The sacred is present in work, family life, community governance, and moral decision making. Faith, therefore, is not limited to worship. It is demonstrated through ethical living, reverence for human life, and commitment to justice and balance. Relationally, faith is rooted in confidence in people, faith in our families, elders, leaders, and future generations. African worldwide views emphasize collective identity, where the well being of the individual is tied to the well being of the community. To have faith is to trust that people, when guided by shared values, can act with wisdom, integrity, and care for one another. This dual understanding of faith highlights human agency as essential. Faith does not replace action, it fuels it. Individuals are expected to work in harmony with divine purpose by taking responsibility for community uplift, cultural preservation, and moral leadership. In this way, faith becomes a collaborative effort between the spiritual and the practical, belief and behavior, hope and action. At the spiritual level, faith is rooted in the belief that life itself is purposeful. Many African traditions understand existence as guided by the sacred order established by the Creator. This order is not distant or detached, it is active and present, shaping how people relate to one another, care for the land, raise children, and govern communities. Faith, therefore, is confidence. That is the moral order is real, and that living in alignment with faith produces balance, justice, and continuity. However, African faith traditions do not position humans as passive recipients of divine will. Instead, human beings are co-creators of meaning. Trust in divine purpose demands human participation. Elders, parents, leaders, and community members are expected to embody wisdom and accountability because faith assumes people are capable of acting rightly and when guided by shared values. This is where the human agency becomes sacred work. Relational faith emphasizes interdependence. Identity is communal rather than individualistic, often summarized in the African philosophy as I am because we are. Ubuntu. I am because we are. Faith in people means believing that collective effort, mutual care, and shared responsibility will sustain the community across generations. It also means that trusting that children, when taught and modeled values, will grow into responsible carriers of culture and conscience. Within Kwanzaa, Imani represents the culmination of this worldview. And after practicing unity, self-identity, after practicing unity, self-determination, collective work, cooperative economics, purpose, and creativity, faith becomes the assurance that these principles are not in vain. It is the confidence that living these values consistently will yield liberation, dignity, and cultural survival. Imani is thus not blind belief. It is earned trust, built through practice. Faith grows as people show up for one another, honor their obligations, and act with integrity. In this sense, faith is both a promise and a discipline. The promise that our efforts matter, and the discipline of continuing the work even when outcomes are not immediate. Ultimately, African-centered faith affirms that transformation is collective and generational. What we believe today shapes what our children inherit tomorrow. Imani calls us to live in such a way that our faith becomes visible through just actions, enduring relationships, and an unwavering commitment to uplift the community. Within Kwanzaa, Imani affirms that transformation happens when belief inspires responsibility and trust leads to collective action. It calls us to believe deeply enough to act boldly, knowing that when divine purpose and human effort align, communities are strengthened, dignity is restored, and future generations are empowered. And as we stand on this pinnacle, how do we carry Imani forward? You can put in the comments, how would you carry Imani forward? And I'm happy to share our final, affirmations and call to action. Right after we light the Kinara. Tonight, the candle is placed at the far right end of the Kinara, where green represents the earth, the future, and the promise fulfilled. And after a week of labor, struggle, and creation, this final green candle is the harvest of our faith. It is our belief made visible. As the flame joins the others, we affirm with the heart of Imani. We believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. We believe with all of our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa. And it is a pleasure to have delivered to you the 7 days of the Kwanzaa virtual celebration. And tonight, I invite you to create a statement of Imani. Write one sentence that captures your personal and family's faith for the coming year. Place it in a place where you'll see it all year long. In the coming days, reflect on your notes from this week. Conduct a harvest review. Which principle resonated with you the most? Choose one action from that day to carry into January as living practices of your Kwanzaa faith. Be a living zawadi. Be a living gift. Dedicate one act of service in January as an offering of faith, not because it's easy, but because you believe in the good it will sow. Now, with all the candles burning, let us speak our most powerful affirmations. Repeat after me. My faith is the unshakable foundation for all I build. My faith is the unshakable foundation for all I build. I believe in the genius, resilience, and righteousness of my people. I believe in the genius, resilience, and righteousness of my people. I walk into the new year fueled by the faith of my ancestors and armed with the Nguzo Saba. I walk into the new year fueled by the faith of my ancestors and armed with the Nguzo Saba. I am a living testament of Imani. I am a living testimony of Imani. I have faith in myself and my capabilities. I have faith in myself and my capabilities. I trust in the strength of my community and our shared values. I trust in the strength of my community and our shared values. I believe in the power of positive actions to create change. I believe in the power of positive actions to create change. I affirm my purpose and commitment to living my values. I affirm my purpose and commitment to living my values. Feel free to repeat these affirmations throughout the year, allowing them to reinforce your faith in yourself and in your journey. And as we stand on the threshold of this new year, let's commit to carrying the spirit of Kwanzaa forward in our daily lives. And this is how we can continue to share these practices by setting intentions, reflecting on the lessons of Kwanzaa and set the goals that align with principles, community involvement, participating in community service or local organizations that embody the values of Kwanzaa. Create family traditions. Establish new family traditions that focus on Kwanzaa principles, ensuring that these values live on in the coming generations. I have thoroughly enjoyed being with you every night this evening. And I thank you so much as we stand on the pinnacle of how we can carry Imani forward. Behold the full light of the Nguzo Saba. This is the completed circle, the visual proof of our covenant. Kwanzaa may end tonight, but the principles do not. They are now the tools in your hands to light your path, the light for your path, the roof over your dreams. Our closing is not a goodbye, but it's a charge. We end as we began, and we must always continue together. And before we conclude, let's remember the principles we've celebrated this week. Umoja, unity. How have we fostered a sense of togetherness in our families and communities? Kujichagulia, self-determination. What actions did we take to define our goals and aspirations? Ujima, collective work and responsibility. How did we work together to support each other? Ujama, cooperative economics. In what ways did we support local businesses? In what ways will we continue to support local businesses? Nia, purpose. What did we discover about our individual and collective purposes? Each principle reminds us of our potential and encourages us to engage with our communities meaningfully. Now, with all the candles lit, we transition to our karamu, our feast. And this is not just a meal, but a celebration of our collective harvest. We pour libation for our ancestors whose faith brought us here. We toast to our children in whom our faith is invested. We share this cup of kikombe cha umoja, symbolizing our unified commitment to drink from the well of our shared belief as we enter the new year. As we celebrate this final day of Kwanzaa, let's celebrate Imani, our faith, and carry its lessons into the new year. May we nurture our beliefs in ourselves, our families, and our communities, ensuring that the legacy of Kwanzaa endures. Thank you all for being part of this celebration. Please share it with friends and family. May your new year be filled with hope, strength, and a sense of purpose. Happy Kwanzaa and a prosperous new year. And so on the count of 3, let us shout it with one voice, with full faith, sealing our week and launching our new year. 1, 2, 3. Harambe! Let's all pull together.